I thought my wife was cheating until I opened her tablet and saw my daughter's name under the same messages.
My name is Daniel, and until a few months ago, I thought my wife was ordinary. Not perfect, not glamorous, just steady enough to feel safe. I had a job that paid the bills, a wife who seemed distant but manageable, and a daughter who lived behind emotional walls I still hope to climb someday. But families fall apart quietly. They rot long before they collapse. My wife Claire had grown colder over the past year. Excuses became her language. Book clubs she'd never read for, late shifts she never explained, weekends away that left a hollow, stale air behind. I noticed, but I refused to connect the dots. It's amazing what we refuse to see when the truth is too painful to look at. Denial is a powerful anesthetic. My daughter Lily, too, had grown secretive. She was defensive, nervous around her phone, jumping whenever a notification buzzed. But she wasn't close to Claire. They barely tolerated each other. Their relationship was a constant low-level war of passive aggression and icy silence. So whatever secrets they were hiding, I assumed they were separate. It never occurred to me they could be connected. That night, everything started to unravel. Claire left for her book club, kissing the air somewhere near my cheek. The gesture felt rehearsed, empty. Lily claimed she was sleeping in a friend's house, a friend whose name she mumbled so quickly I couldn't catch it. Their coordinated avoidance made my stomach twist, but again, I pushed the thought aside. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was inventing drama where there was none. I spent the night alone, the silence of the house louder than any noise. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw it. Claire's tablet sitting unattended on the kitchen counter. This was strange. Claire never left her electronics out, ever. They were extensions of her, guarded and password protected. As I stared at it, a notification flashed across the screen. A new message. Last night was perfect. Same time tomorrow? My chest tightened. It felt like a band of ice was slowly closing around my heart. Against my better judgment, every instinct screaming at me to walk away, I picked up the tablet. I opened the message, and there he was, Marcus. Their chat thread was long, months of flirtation, hotel arrangements, intimate messages, and photos that left absolutely nothing to the imagination. The evidence was brutal, undeniable. My wife was cheating on me. I felt the floor drop out from under me. The betrayal was a physical sensation, a punch to the gut that left me breathless. But the world didn't truly crack until I saw another thread beneath it. Another chat with Marcus. It had the same tone. It mentioned the same nights, the same hotel. But the name on this conversation wasn't Claire. It was Lily. For a second, I truly believed I might faint. The world tilted, the colors in the room blurring at the edges. I had to grip the counter to stay upright. The timestamps overlapped, the details matched. The emojis, the tone, the secrecy, they were identical. My wife and my daughter were seeing the same man, and from the looks of their conversations, neither of them knew about the other. I walked outside, stumbling into the cool morning air, pacing the driveway like a caged animal. I felt like the air alone could steady me, but every breath burned. It felt like I was breathing in shards of glass. Who do you confront first? Who do you protect? Who do you blame? My mind was a whirlwind of impossible questions. Nothing prepared me for this. Not marriage, not fatherhood, not any nightmare I had ever had. This was a level of betrayal so twisted, so profoundly wrong, that it felt like something from a sick movie, not my life. My ordinary, steady, safe life. How could this happen? How could I have been so blind? All the little signs, all the missed cues, they all came rushing back, assembling themselves into a horrifying mosaic of deceit. Claire came home first. Her hair was messy, her eyes tired. The expensive perfume she usually wore was gone. replaced by the stale, anonymous scent of a hotel hallway. She saw me standing in the living room, holding her tablet, and she knew. I didn't have to say a word. "Who is Marcus?" I asked quietly. My voice was eerily calm, a stark contrast to the storm raging inside me, her face drained of all color. But it wasn't guilt I saw in her eyes. It was irritation, annoyance. "You weren't supposed to find out," she muttered, as if I had broken some unspoken rule by discovering her affair. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't ashamed. She was just angry she'd been caught. The sheer arrogance of it was staggering. It was like I was the one who had done something wrong. 30 minutes later, Lily walked in. She was humming to herself, lost in her own world, until she saw the three of us. Me standing like a statue. Her mother glaring at me with contempt, and the tablet lying on the coffee table between us like a bomb. She froze. Her denial was sloppy, a jumble of panicked words that made no sense. Her confession came next, trembling and tear-soaked. She collapsed onto the sofa, sobbing about how he understood her, how he made her feel seen. And then, as the ugly, tangled truth was laid bare for all of us to see, the realization hit all three of us at once. Marcus had been playing all of us. Two women, a mother and a daughter, kept apart by his lies. And a husband, a father, too busy trying to keep the peace to see the war that was being waged right under his nose. That was the moment my heartbreak hardened into something cold and sharp. It wasn't rage. Rage is hot and messy. This was something different. It was truth. The kind of truth that burns away all the illusions, all the comfortable lies you tell yourself to get through the day. And the real truth I've learned never stays buried. Not forever. The quiet, rotting foundation of my family had finally collapsed, and I was standing in the rubble. I didn't know what I was going to do next, how I would ever rebuild from this. But I knew one thing for sure. My life would never be ordinary again. And Marcus, the architect of all this pain, would soon find out what happens when you shatter a man's world. You don't get to just walk away. The story wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever felt betrayed or lost, know you're not alone. Hit that subscribe button and follow along, because what comes next is a journey for justice you won't want to miss.